If you want to become a full-time content creator in 2026, now is the perfect time to start. I've been a full-time content creator for 5 years now, and I can tell you that what stands between you and your dream is not a new camera, a viral video, or even some secret growth strategy that you haven't found yet. It's actually more simple than that. Habits and routines. If you start doing the habits of a successful full-time content creator now, then you'll actually become one in 2026. Starting with habit number 1, film yourself before you have content ideas. The real secret to becoming comfortable on camera is practice. The more you film yourself, the more normal it will become. Make it a habit to film a few clips of yourself every day, even just in simple moments like making your morning coffee or going out for a walk. Not only will you start to get better at framing your shots and getting cool angles, but you'll also be passively building a B-roll library that will be so helpful for you in the future. Voiceover vlogs are performing really well in the Instagram algorithm lately. They're visual, they're engaging, and they can actually be really easy to make if you've already got a B-roll library of a bunch of clips of yourself. Once you have a substantial B-roll library, then all you need to do to create a voiceover vlog is write and record your voiceover, and then you can just match up the clips. If you can make filming part of your day-to-day routine, then you can make content creation so much easier for yourself. Of course, there's always going to be specific clips that you'll need to film after you've done more extensive planning because they're going to be very specific to a certain piece of content. However, if you can more or less passively generate a B-roll library for yourself, that is a huge hack for consistency. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about this, but once I started doing it, it made content creation so much easier. So don't wait until you have specific content ideas to start filming clips. Just start capturing moments in your day-to-day life and you will find ways to use that later. Habit number 2. Organize your files. Now that you've collected all of these great video clips, you need to organize them, or else they'll get buried in your camera roll and you will never ever see them again. Okay, so here's what I like to do. I've got folders in my camera roll that are organized by theme. Creator stuff, travel, lifestyle, and van life. I like to keep these on my phone physically for quick Instagram story posts and on the rare occasion that I decide to actually edit a video on my phone. But mostly though, I like to keep all of my clips on my external hard drive. When it comes to my horizontal B-roll for my YouTube videos, I keep all of that on my external hard drive, and I actually have it organized quite extensively based on category. Stuff like Instagram content creation, lifestyle, travel, YouTube creation. And as you can see, I have meticulously labeled all of these clips so that they are searchable. But I also keep a library of my vertical B-roll on my hard drive too. I have one folder with my general vertical B-roll, which again, I have meticulously labeled so that it's easily searchable. And then I have another subfolder that's all of my recent van life B-roll, which I haven't labeled yet. The amazing thing about labeling all of your clips like this is when I'm ready to edit a reel in DaVinci Resolve, let's say I want to find a clip of me in my van, I can just search van, and now all of the clips that I've ever filmed in my van or outside of my van, because I've made sure to label them all with the word van, show up here. So that's super easy for making a reel like this, where I'm talking about whether or not van life is worth it. Look, I know stuff like this is an upfront time investment, but you will really thank your past self because it's gonna make content creation so much easier even when you don't feel like it. In addition to your own video clips, you're also gonna wanna organize all the other assets that you use for content creation. Things like music tracks, sound effects, and graphics. Trust me, you'll save yourself so much time in searching if you create a folder structure that helps you find things easily. Now, if you're wondering where I get all of those types of assets from for my videos, I download them from Storyblocks, the sponsor of today's video. Storyblocks is an online stock media library with all of the assets that you need to make engaging video content. With one simple subscription, you get unlimited access to download 4K stock footage, animation templates for Premiere Pro and DaVinci Resolve, background music, sound effects, and more. Whether you need stunning landscape shots, close-ups with immaculate detail, or just fun animations, Storyblocks has got you covered. You can save loads of time in your content creation workflow by using templates and stock media rather than making everything from scratch every single time. Plus, Storyblocks is always adding fresh, curated content based on recent trends and what members are searching for. So I promise you will not get bored of what's available. To get unlimited stock content at one set price, go to storyblocks.com/Katie or click the link in my description. And as always, thanks Storyblocks for sponsoring today's video. Habit number 3, create a content station. So we all know that a huge part of becoming a full-time content creator is posting consistently. As annoying and cliche as that advice is, it's true. And if you want to make posting consistently more easy for yourself, then you've just got to make it easy to create. One way to do that is by setting up a small content station for yourself. Just like how a good carpenter would have an organized workbench, you can set up a spot for yourself where all of your tools and gear are accessible. And you don't need a lot of space to do this. Famously, I live in a very tiny apartment, but I've dedicated this half of our TV console to my gear storage. The microphones that I use all the time, and of course my case of extra SD cards, so I've always got that handy if the one I'm filming with fills up. Oh, and down here in this other cabinet where I have access to a plug, I keep all of my camera chargers plugged in and ready down there so I can easily swap in and out batteries as I need. One of the most annoying things is if you're filming and all of your camera batteries are dead, because then you're like, wow, I have to sit and wait for these to charge. So I avoid that by keeping my camera batteries perpetually charged in that little storage cabinet. You'll find it so much easier to create on a regular basis if you've taken the potential obstacles out of your own path in advance. Things like dead batteries or not being able to find the microphone that you like to use. Take care of all that by setting up an organized content station, and that way getting set up to record your videos will be seamless. When it comes to consistency, we don't want any potential excuses getting in our way, and this is a great way to get those logistics taken care of in advance. Habit number 4, write down your ideas immediately. I like to keep an ongoing note in my notes app on my phone where I just jot down my content ideas as soon as they pop into my head. Later on, when I'm ready to refine these ideas a little bit more, I'll transfer them over to my Notion database where I can eventually schedule them into my content calendar. There are so many ways to do this though. Like you could record quick voice notes to yourself if that's easier than typing, or you could keep a small notebook handy and write down your ideas by hand. That would be very chic and analog of you if you did that. I wish I was more of a notebook person, but my phone's just always around, so that's what works for me. Whatever method you choose though, the most important thing is when you have these ideas, you need to write them down immediately. And I mean like immediately, okay? I can't tell you how many times I've been on the edge of sleep when a potential content idea comes into my head. And as much as I would just like to not look at a screen again before I go to bed, you know I'm grabbing my phone and I'm writing that down. I think the thing that you learn as you create more content is good ideas can be fleeting and they can also be rare. Yes, we have lots of brainstorming methods and I've talked about those in past videos, but there's just something about an idea that just comes to you that's always gonna be a bit better, a bit stickier, a bit more interesting than ones that you sort of like brainstorm in a structured way. And so that's why I take documenting ideas so seriously, because when a good one comes to you, you don't wanna let that go. Ultimately, if you wanna make content creation easier, then make documenting your ideas easier. And you'll pretty much just passively generate ideas by going through life rather than having to like plan a brainstorming session all the time. Habit number 5, repurpose one piece of content every week. Okay, something I don't see enough people talking about is that when you're a content creator, the pieces of content that you make are valuable assets to your business. The same way that like inventory in a physical store are assets that have like a monetary value, I really believe that pieces of content also have a monetary value for content creators. Like think about it this way, if I create a sponsored reel for a brand, if they want to run that on a continual basis as an ad, they have to pay me for that. They have to pay me for usage rights. So in that way, that reel that I made is an asset to my business that I can actually continue to generate revenue from. So if you recognize that and you know that this media that you generate is worth something, then why would you just post it one time and proceed to forget about it? Your content is valuable and it deserves to be repurposed, okay? I know it can feel a bit challenging to develop a repurposing strategy, so start by trying this habit. Every week, choose just one piece of content that performed well for you in the last week, then pick a new format that you could translate that content into. For example, if it was an Instagram carousel, maybe you could take that same subject matter and transform it into a reel. Or maybe you had a YouTube video do well, you could take some of the key points from that YouTube video, add them as text over top of images, and you've got an Instagram carousel. Okay, so here's a couple examples to show you what I mean. Both of these Instagram carousels are posts that were inspired by YouTube YouTube videos that I made earlier this year. So this one was a YouTube video that performed really well for me, the ultimate guide to filming yourself for YouTube. This carousel is made up of a mix of screenshots or clips exported from that video, as well as just photos from my camera roll. I find that the mixture of both makes it feel like it was made to be a carousel. Like, it doesn't necessarily feel like it was ripped from a YouTube video. Here's another example. This is from my weekly routine for productivity YouTube video. And for this one, I mostly took screen grabs from the video, added text on top, and it was good to go. I find that this is a great way to not only save time and of course create more content based off of just one idea, but it also helps you to have a more cohesive strategy across platforms because you're sharing like similar topics and similar ideas from, Instagram to YouTube and vice versa. And I just really think you went to the time to come up with this idea. Why not use that to your advantage and, get more out of it? Habit number 6, set scroll time limits. At some point, you need to stop consuming and start creating. It is a really tough balance, I will admit that, because realistically, you do need to stay aware of what's performing well in your niche, what's trending. You need to have some sense of the current social media landscape, right? Like, you can't completely be offline and expect to create content that will be successful online. But it is very easy for that scrolling research that you're doing to turn into hours and hours of scrolling that is just not actually productive. My approach for this is setting screen time limits on my phone for Instagram and TikTok, because those are the apps where I find I lose a lot of time. I've set my limit on both of those for just 15 minutes, which I just know out the gate I'm gonna exceed that every day. Even though I'm tapping 15 more minutes all the time, I at least appreciate having that limit to remind me how much time has passed. Otherwise, it's so easy to get stuck in the bottomless scroll of the algorithm. So setting a screen time limit like this can just be like a good reminder. If you want to set this up, just go to your phone settings and search for app limits. Then tap on add limit and choose the app that you want to add a limit to, and then you can designate the amount of time. Habit number 7, schedule content creation time blocks. Okay, I know it might sound cliche, but I've said it before. If you want content creation to be your full-time job, then you kind of need to start treating it like one, even before you're making money from it. The best way to do that is to schedule it into your calendar like it's a shift at work. Now, I personally like to pick certain days that are dedicated to certain tasks, and then I repeat that routine week after week. So for example, maybe Monday is script writing day and Thursday is filming day, and so on. Figure out what works best for you in your typical week, and then add recurring events to your Google Calendar. And remember, treat these time blocks with respect. Just like you wouldn't flake on a coffee date with a friend, don't flake on your own content creation time blocks, because your dream is worth spending time on. It is. These habits are the building blocks for turning your content creation hobby into a career. And I really do believe that you can do this in 2026, okay? This is gonna be your year. To help you on your journey of using the next 12 months to build your dream creator business, I created the 12-month plan to going full-time as a content creator. It's part of my content creator starter kit, which is basically your digital toolkit for building a business online. Everything from tracking your brand deals to making a media kit that converts to a strategic content calendar and my YouTube script template. All of that is included along with the 12-month plan, and I highly recommend checking that out if one of your goals for 2026 is to become a content creator. So I'll have that linked in the description. Also, on that topic, let me know what you would like to see from me in 2026. I'm starting to plan my YouTube videos for January, and I want to know what would be most helpful for you at this stage in your creator journey. So let me know in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having adventures and following your dreams, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!